Daily News is dead, the American is dead. The thing that killed the Daily News was traffic. You couldn't deliver the paper, you could not home deliver a paper, an afternoon newspaper that had any news in it because of the traffic. Your delivery trucks couldn't get out there. And so it killed almost every afternoon newspaper in the country.
I'd like to make one comment, though. You've been reading about the private army, all these people who were in the military, and now they're doing the job that a soldier should be doing for a buku amount of money for what they're getting paid for. Where I think a person in service could do a very adequate job, but we're talking billions and billions of dollars that is really unaccounted for.
Oh, there's no question about that. I mean, the whole Blackwater thing, I mean, we don't really know. I mean, if you ask how many troops have we got in Iraq, the Pentagon will say, well, right now we've got 98,000. But if you start counting all the contractors, in all probability, we probably got 200,000. And of course, that's all the Bush administration, Donald Rumsfeld and company. And unfortunately, I haven't seen any evidence that Barack Obama's, even trying to do anything about it. My personal opinion, I voted for Obama. I think he's a vast improvement on his predecessor. Of course, that's not asking for much.
Low bar.
I think he's basically been co-opted by the military. And I think a good example of it is this whole business of deciding whether to send more troops to Afghanistan. If you put that picture together, when Obama first came into office, in the very first few weeks, he decided to send, I can't remember what the figure is, but a number of additional troops to Afghanistan. And he had said he was going to do that in the campaign. But then the White House started saying, well, we're studying where we go from now. And pretty soon, Bob Woodward gets a secret classified memorandum from General McCartney in which he says, I gotta have 40,000 troops. So Obama basically is put in the position, he had just appointed McChrystal to replace McCartney, who preceded him. Obama is put in the political position of either having to overrule or fire the general he just put in there.
Should have fired
They
him.
outfoxed him. They ran circles around him. After the McChrystal memo leaked to Bob Woodward, then pretty soon the Congress gets into it, starts asking the chairman of the Joint Chiefs, Admiral Mullen, what about this? Do you agree with McChrystal? And of course, Mullen says, absolutely. So the Pentagon basically runs foreign policy, and they are running Barack Obama's foreign policy.
Doug, please, sir.
Do you think the industrial or congressional complex, in its own naivete, is selling out the country for its own greed?
Yes.
Augie.
You know, the McChrystal situation, wasn't going to ask a question. When he pulled that stunt, or they pulled that stunt and got him to do it, this is the same clown that concealed the killing of Tillman. And instead of playing the card of the betrayer of one of our seeming heroes, and then making a false hero out of him when he was really killed by questionable fire, and undercutting his demand of the 40,000. They knew that at the time. That was the card they could have played. But since Obama had put him in, it was the question then would come, why did you do that? And the argument around why did you do that, and now why are you coming down on this guy? Because you don't want to bring the troops forward. Well, extending that thing forward, and you're gonna pull them out at a certain short time, what are you doing? This is the craziest, I would say, gutless situation I've ever seen. And that's a commentary as much as a question for us. But the point is, he had the cards to play on the crystal, and he could have made the crystal recant that and say something different, and he didn't.
Well, what they did was really laughable. After the Bob Woodward story appeared, you know, the crystal wanted 40,000 more troops. The defense secretary, Gates, and the White House issued statements criticizing these unfortunate leaks. I mean, they got boxed in. I personally think that Obama made a mistake in keeping a Republican as defense secretary. Although there's no question in my mind that Gates is a hell of a lot better than Rumsfeld. But again, look at the competition. Gates has tried to do a number of good things, even involving cutting back some of these programs, but he's got no overruled in a number of them in Congress.
This lady.
Yeah, I'm sitting here saying to myself, are we saying that our system of government doesn't work? I mean, is what I'm hearing.
Yep.
And I'm thinking, well, there's only one power source I can think of that we haven't talked about, and that's judicial. Is there something in the Constitution that can be used, you know? And I haven't come up with anything. And then I'm also thinking, well, with judicial, what about the 2000 election? And so, I don't know. What do you think of judicial?
No jurisdiction.
Well, that's kind of out of my ballpark.
You want to answer that one, shall I?
One more question from Dave. We've got to close up.
Would you say that the first year in office was a learning experience for Obama?
I have written that actually.
And now he's beginning to pick up the
No practice
pieces
allowed.
of getting to know how Washington really works. And now he's beginning to stand up on his own 2 feet. But the first year was just learning. He was not really a politician when he got in.
No, I have written, I still write a column for the Bradenton Herald once a month. I'm not really an opinion leader, you know, but I have written that Barack Obama had a lot to learn, and he has learned a lot, but he tends to want to sort of split the difference on a lot of issues. But he's certainly trying to do the right thing. He's trying to move in the right direction. I think what he's trying to do just in the last week with this calling attention to the nuclear problems that the world faces, getting all those countries together. It looked like, you know, a big show. Well, it was a big show, but he's trying to draw attention to a very difficult and almost unsolvable problem. And so he's moving in the right direction.
Wouldn't you say that now he finally realizes that you can't do business with the no party?
Well, I've written that too, but I don't know, he's just not listening to me. Hard to imagine.